Hello everyone, welcome! I'm here with another design team project for the Not Too Shabby shop. I'm going to be creating with some really fun products from Sunny Studio. I'm going to create a summer card. And this stamp set is all about summer. I just fell in love with it when I saw it in the Not Too Shabby shop. It is also a layering stamp set. So I'm going to pull out my Misty and start stamping away. On the Sunny Studio website, they have a layering guide for this stamp set. And I'm going to start off with one of the flowers first. There are many ways that you can stamp this up according to the guide, but I'm going to be stamping out the darkest color first. So I have some dark pink ink here, and you can use whatever ink you have. I just have a mishmash in my stash. This ink is called Razzleberry, and it's from MFT. I cut my cardstock into a square, and I find that it's easiest to use a square when you're stamping out multiple layers. This way you can just keep flipping it. And I'm going to stamp out several at a time, as you see. Now for the next layer, it's going to be a soft, innocent pink from Gina K. Since this is a new stamp set and I haven't done anything to condition it, I do like to stamp out each layer twice. This just gives me a nice, crisp impression. So this stamp set is called Radiant Plumeria, and I love all of the beautiful flowers and leaves in it, but I also really love the summer sentiment. It's a beautiful font, and it's a larger sized stamp, so I like that. And then it has lots of other smaller stamps that you can add to your summer sentiment. It says summer greetings, welcome summer, hello summer, summer smiles, summer hugs, and happy summer. I'm going to go with Happy Summer for my card today. I love making summer cards, and I think I say this about every season, but summer is my favorite season of them all, and so I just love sending out happy summer cards. Now my next layer is yellow, and I'm doing the lightest yellow first, and then the next few layers I'll use darker inks. So my next layer is a peach color. And these are so fun because you can use whatever colors you want and just layer them together to make something beautiful. I really love playing with layering stamp sets. I think they're just so much fun. And they're really great for times when you don't really feel like coloring. You can add color to your cards using your inks. A stamp positioner like this is really handy when you're using your layering stamps. You can put the stamp in the same position for each flower that you stamp out. And you can stamp out as many as you want at a time. You get a lot of dimension with these layering stamps as well. You get your shadows and your highlights with these different stamps. For the very last image, it's just a teeny tiny one, and I'm putting down my darkest ink. I'm going to use a really deep plum-colored ink for this. This will add my darkest shadows on the centers of these flowers. I also stamped out these flowers with some purple inks off camera, and you'll see those here in just a minute. I do have a 10% off coupon code for you for the Not Too Shabby shop. The code is N2S10. You can find all of the products that I'm using in this video over there, as well as many other really fun products, so check it out. Next, I'm stamping out the beautiful palm leaf, and I'm putting down my darkest layer first. The darkest layers are usually the smallest as in the stamping surface. So as you see here, it stamps out just a little bit of the shadows. And my next ink is going to be a little bit lighter, and it stamps out more of the surface of the palm leaf. The palm leaf is easier and faster to stamp out because it only has 3 layers to it, but it still gives you a lot of beautiful dimension. I do a lot more stamping off camera, but I had so much fun playing with these layering stamp sets. You can easily fussy cut these images, but I did get the coordinating dies to this stamp set. And my next step is to die cut all of my flowers and leaves. I like to hold them in place with some tape. I'm just using some purple tape for this, but you can use washi tape or whatever kind of tape you have on hand. I am going to cut this down so that it will fit in my mini die cutting machine. I have a little desktop one that I use a lot. I don't have a lot of space on my desk, so I find that this one works out perfectly for my situation. One of my viewers commented that she keeps her Gemini Junior on her desk next to her work surface, And I think an electric die cutting machine right next to your desk would be an ideal situation. I would love to hear what all of you do with your die cutting machine, if you have it next to you or on another table somewhere in your craft room. Let me know in the comments below because I love getting ideas from all of you. I'm going to use a stencil to create a background for my sentiment and my flowers. I got this stencil in one of my card kits. I believe it was a Simon Says Stamp one. It has little clouds cut out in the center, and I always have to mask them off. But I really love this stencil because it makes the cutest clouds. I have another one from MFT Stamps. And I probably should have used that, but this one was just sitting on my desk. But it makes the cutest clouds. I'm using Peacock Feathers Distress Oxide ink to create my clouds. I'm putting down my thickest layer of ink right at the edge of this stencil, and then I blend it out so it's not as dark. But I'm not going to leave any white space on this. I just want it to be more of a subtle background. For my next layer of clouds, I just flip the stencil around. This is a really fun process. I love playing with inks, and especially Distress Oxide inks. This is just a piece of Nina Solar White cardstock. It's the same cardstock that I used to stamp my flowers onto. If you're going to do some ink blending like this, I think the best paper to use is the Bristol Smooth cardstock. And I should have used that, but this was just, again, sitting on my desk. The Bristol Smooth cardstock has a nice coating on it that allows you to get a beautiful blend with your inks. But I was happy with the result of this one. So I continue with the ink blending down this panel. And then when I'm done with the stencil, I'm just going to go over it again, just with another light layer of color. To clean off my stencil, I just use a baby wipe. And here is my finished panel. Isn't that beautiful? I just love how that turned out. I'm using a piece of pale blue cardstock, and I'm going to cut a window out from it using the Sunny Studio stitched semicircle dies. I'm always on the lookout for unique die sets that will cut out your card panels or cut out fun windows like this. And I really fell in love with this set when I saw it. And now to stamp out my sentiments. I'm stamping it so that you can see it inside the window that I just cut out. I'm going to use some Claire Nocturne ink for this. This says Happy Summer, and I'm going to stamp it out twice just to get the ink good and black. You always have to snug it up into the corner, of course, just to make sure it's still in the same place. I'm using a magnet, but it can still shift even with your magnet, so I don't know why I use it sometimes. When I was stamping out all of the flowers, I didn't use it because I have to snug it up in the corner anyway. I'm using some Arteza foam tape behind my light blue panel just to pop it up. This adds a little bit of fun dimension to the window. And I like an even coverage with the foam tape, so I put a lot down. I have a white card base made from Nina Solar White cardstock. I'm going to add my ink blended panel onto this with some liquid glue. I like using liquid glue. It just gives you a little bit of wiggle time to make sure it goes on straight. And my next step will be peeling off all of the backing to the foam tape and trying to get this on straight. But look how cute the clouds and the sentiment look through that little window. I just love it. And now to glue down all of my flowers and leaves. I'm just gluing them down flat with some liquid adhesive as well. I played around a lot with the placement of these flowers, and I finally figured out what I hope to be is a cute placement for all of my flowers and leaves. I want to put a lot of them so they're hanging off the edge of the window. This just helps frame out my sentiment a little bit more. But here you can see some of the purple flowers that I inked up. I don't know which ones I liked better, the purple or the pink. Here you also see another beautiful leaf that I stamped out off camera. You also get a smaller leaf image, which I'm kind of tucking behind my flowers. All of these stamped images look very Hawaiian to me. I just think they're beautiful. I do have a few images left over once I'm done with this card, but I like to stamp out more than necessary, just so I have enough, and then you could always use the leftover bits on the inside of your card. I'm putting down an odd number of flowers. I think the odd numbers just look better on your cards. And my last little flower is going to go right up at the top. I really love how it hangs over into the window. For a last little embellishment, I'm going to add some Nouveau drops around my card panel. I really love Nouveau drops. I have a few of them in my stash, and often I forget to use them, but I just wanted to add a little more pink to this card. I try to flatten out these drops a little bit by slapping them onto the lid of this bottle. That helps a lot. Here's my finished card. There was a lot of steps to this one, so thanks for hanging in there with me. I hope you enjoyed and were inspired. I'll have the link to the Not Too Shabby shop listed below, as well as links to all of the products that I used. And don't forget to use the 10% off coupon. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye.